Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Is everything live? Give me 1 second here. Tweet out. Hashtag Qatar GP deadline. Stream live now. Hashtag F1 Fantasy. Quick little copy paste over onto Blue Sky, since I am there as well. Chat above me is not working. That's okay. Nixie, Michael, hello. Barely alive. Yeah, I can imagine. Super early for you. You've already locked in your moves. I have not actually, so we'll see what I do. Hello, Greg. How you doing? I don't know why the chat's not working above me. I had this problem before. I guess we just gotta do a little manual input here. There we go. Ignore that. A little bit of technical difficulties. There we go. And then we just shoop. And then we just shoop. And then we just shoop. There we go. Perfect. It's almost like there weren't any problems at all. Let me do another bit of... there we go. All right. Let me actually fix it so it's properly. There we go. That's what I like to see. And now I'm ruining everything. Classic. All right. Sorry that I'm a bit late today. I was at work. I've been working since 6 a.m. So I am a bit knackered. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna do the team submissions in a bit. But we need to speed things up. I have a couple of things we need to get through. So I have a really cool final fix tip for you guys. If you haven't used your final fix and you're not like popping the 3x today, because obviously if you have the 3x, you should use your 3x. I think the main question everyone wants to know is Lando plus who, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know. But if you have your final fix, I have a really cool tip for you that I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna do that first. Then we're gonna look at the simulations on F1 Fantasy Tools and see what they prefer. Then we're going to do the usual tier lists, C tiers and premium tier lists, and that's gonna go. That is like the one answer you're gonna get to the question, like, oh, do we go for Russell, Sainz, Piastri? Who do we go for among the premiums? That's going to answer that, but it's going to be very close, so it's not really gonna give you an answer. We'll see how that goes. So, final fix strategy, then simulations, then tier lists for the C tiers and the premiums, then team submissions, and then I'm locking my team. That's the plan. That's the stream. Oh, and then tip of the week somewhere in there, somewhere, when I figure out what the tip of the week is going to be. All right. Good luck this week, Rain. Going to have to submit my team soon because of work. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, let's see how it goes. This could be a big one for a lot of reasons. A lot of people are using chips, so if you're like me, you don't have any chips, you're just crossing your fingers and hoping for no red arrow. When it's team submissions, after all of that, we'll see what time it is. We have to speed things up today. All right, so as soon as some people get in here, 44 viewers, that's enough. Leave a like on the stream. Let's get some people in here, and then yeah, this is a good time. Let me show you what I've cooked up. If you have your final fix, it's time, okay? If you have your final fix, I have the God strat, right? And it involves a certain Mexican, all right? Now, hear me out. So, look what Checo did in Brazil sprint. Sprint positions gained 5, sprint overtake bonus 7. He got a solid 12 points here and the sprint fastest lap, right? Now, I'm not saying he's going to get sprint fastest lap again, but if anyone is getting points in the sprint, it's Checo. If you were to ask me who's getting the most points in the sprint, ignoring sprint fastest lap because you can't really predict that, I would say Checo, right? Because I think Checo's going to, Checo getting 4 positions, 4 overtakes, I feel like that's a pretty safe bet. Now, obviously, he can DNF, but we ignore that risk, right? Toss that out. Surely Checo overtakes like 4 or 5 people and gets an 8 to 10 pointer. And the only other person getting an 8 to 10 pointer is whoever wins or whoever gets the sprint fastest lap. So, my final fix tip for you is that I think Checo has the highest potential in the sprint. So, what you do is, say I had my final fix, right? You put Checo in there. You could even put Checo on the 2x, right? Say I have signs that you could even go so far as to put Checo on the 2x slots. And then after you've done that, like literally right after the sprint, you final fix in Norris. Or whoever else you want. Say if it's on the 2x, you do a Norris for the main race. But I would go so far as to say, considering how good he's been in qualifying recently, you go for Russell. So you go for Checo and then final fix in Russell. Or if you want to do it on the 2x slot, you have someone like a Russell, and then you have Checo here, and then you make sure you have money in the bank to final fix Lando in. Because Checo is, like, people have asked me, do you think Checo's a good pick? And I think yes in the sprint, but no in the quali in the race. Because I don't think Checo makes it out of Q2 in the main race. So I don't think he's getting qualifying points. And then he's going to get at most like P8, P7, right? Unless there's DNFs up front. So in the main race, Checo's not going to haul at all, meaning that I think he's likely to end up similarly to his Brazil points, which was a 25 pointer, right? For his sprint alone, he got what, 12, 17, he got 18 points in the sprint, and then he only got like 8 points in the main race. I think that is what he's going to get today or tomorrow in Qatar. So, you know, you can never predict sprint fastest lap, but I think the rest, like a 13 pointer in the sprint, is really, really good. Oh, Checo starts from pit lane, so that's likely. Never mind then. It's even better. I thought I definitely missed that he started pit lane. Definitely missed that. All right, so then even better. Like, surely he gets some overtakes. Surely, right? So if you have final fix, you get Checo in now, and then you kick him out. You don't have him in the qualifying, and you don't wait until the qualifying. You do it before quali and get Russell's quali points and Russell's race points, because I think Russell's gonna end up on the podium in the main race too. I think if McLaren are as fast as we expect them to be, I would expect Russell to be P3 behind the McLarens, ahead of we'll see. Obviously, Ferrari race pace, yada. But that is my final fix tip for you. If you have your final fix, you do Checo now, and then you have money in the bank to either go up to Lando or Russell or whichever of the Ferrari Oscar Piastri boys that you want, right? So that is my final fix tip. That's final. If anyone asked me, what do I do with final fix? I'm gonna just tell them to go back in the stream to 150. So what's that, like 5 minutes into the stream, something like that, when I start screaming, essentially. So that's my final fix tip for today. I think that's the good tip of the week. 2x Norris. Yeah, it's looking like one of those, isn't it? All right. Don asks, I was going to use the autopilot this weekend. Is it worth doing this final fix play you're talking about instead of autopilot? I don't think autopilot looks that strong, to be honest. Like, yes, obviously autopilot can be strong if there's DNFs, but I just think Norris looks like a safe 2x bet, and I think everyone that has Norris is going to put the 2x on Norris, so I don't think you gain anything by autopiloting. I would rather, if you have final fix, I would rather do this final fix play and then autopilot next week in Abu Dhabi. Need to make up some good points. Currently sitting in P2 and have 3x left. Need a differential. What do you recommend? I mean, you just need to look at whoever is ahead of you, right? What they're likely to run. I think the biggest differential is to go without Norris, because I think everyone's going with Norris, but that is very risky. I would rather just differentiate on my 2x, maybe do like a Checo and hope that he can maybe break his streak and get a P5 in the main race, or you do George Russell, because I think a lot of people are doing Piastri or like Leclerc or Sainz, right? So I think Russell could be a pretty good differential for the 2x. So if you're 3xing and want a differential, I'd say Russell. If you want to go crazy bananas, you go without Norris for the 3x. But I think that's brave, and I think that's less likely to pan out. I have 3x and leading the min league by 200 points. You said using 3x or not at all. You definitely use the 3x here. If you have the 3x, you have to use it here. Ignore any final fix shenanigans that I'm cooking up. If you have your 3x, you have to use it here. Like, I mean, I did this yesterday. We can just, like, remove some of this, right? If you have the 3x, I'm just gonna remove all this and just say... Actually, we'll just clean this up and just say... use the 3x. There you go. Tip of the week. Done. Thoughts on Mercedes versus Ferrari? We'll talk about that a bit later. But I have thoughts. I have thoughts. It's more than just, oh, it's this one. So that's that. Cooked up final fix play. If you want a final fix play, go back like 5 minutes into the stream and you will see me cooking with Checo. But yeah, I think Checo's gonna end up like between 25 and 30 points this weekend if he doesn't DNF, and I think he's getting most of those points in the sprint, which is why I think you should get him in the sprint race and then final fix him out of here. Let's talk F1 fantasy tools, some simulations. Team calculator. I know I'm going fast today because we have a lot of things to get through and not that much time. Usually I have 2 hours for a deadline stream, and today I only have like an hour 15 minutes. So my budget's at 131.2. Can I get some budget checks in chat? Where are we? 131.2. Who's beating that? I'm at 131.2 mil. Give me your budgets. And then as you're looking at your budget, you can like the stream as well. Thank you. Thank you. Anric is beating you, 131.7. Shout out. Don is slightly behind. I got you beat, man. 128.3 from Star Sport, 130.9, 130, 133 high from Immensa. All right, team calculator. I'm gonna look at my budget to start with, but it looks like most people are around, like, just above the 130 mark, 130.6. Craig's giga rich. We don't need to look at him. 135 is really good. 131.2. Yep. Welcome to the club. It looks like a lot of people, most people have breached the 130 limit, which is pretty cool to see. There's a few stragglers. Star Sport, I'm sorry. You look to be, you seem to be the poorest one here. But yeah, I think if you're poor, I think you just go, I think Russell is your cheat code, realistically, right? Let's recalculate for 131.2 post sprint qualifying. 128, yeah, 129, a few people below, 134, 135. I think, like, if you're below 130 million, either you go Russell as your second premium, or you just go for the 3 cheapest C tiers. So, like, you go Show, Bottas, Colapinto. And that is what the... I mean, this one, like, this top team, according to the simulations, is at 130 mil. And that's Norris, Piastri, Colapinto, Show, Albon. They do prefer Albon over Bottas, right? Yep. But yeah, you can definitely just go down here. I mean, look what you can do with Russell in there. They like Gasly. They don't like Tsunoda, surprisingly. Is Gasly starting pit lane, or have I missed something? I have not, like, seen any news from today. So if there's anything else, Colapinto is pit lane. I saw that about an hour ago. Why is Gasly so high in the simulations? Maybe they expect him to be really good in the race. I'm surprised that they like Gasly so much. But it's interesting that they are prioritizing, like, Show and Albon here over Tsunoda, Bottas. Like, yeah, look here. Points. It is a pretty significant switch. Have I missed something? What have I missed? Because they don't know about the Williams part shortage. That is quite fair. They're not taking that into account. Do you think Russell will be faster than both the Ferraris? I'm not sure. We'll see. But I just think Russell's really good for the budget, right? And he's slight differential. I mean, there's more teams here with Russell than with Leclerc, so I think that's saying something. 137.4. Jesus Christ. Star Sport, put the team, like a full team like that, put them in the team submissions channel in the Discord, because when there's that many names in a row, I can't focus. So I can't give you a proper answer to that question. Lawson, Show, or Gasly? I'm going to be doing the tier list right after this, actually. I'm really surprised Gasly's higher than Tsunoda, because like this team and this team, like Team 2 and Team 8 here is identical. The only difference is Tsunoda versus Gasly. I prefer Tsunoda based on where he's starting, because I think Tsunoda still has potential to do good, to like have a good race in the main race, right? But I guess they just really, really like Gasly's current form and qualifying form. Yeah, because if you assume that Gasly's gonna be P8 again in the main qualifying later tonight, that's obviously 3 points. And 3 points for a C-tier asset does go quite a long way. But I just think Tsunoda looks so much better in the sprint. So you prefer the triple McLaren budget for higher budget teams? Yes, I think so. But I still haven't decided that. All right, so if we go by my team, right? We're gonna do the tier list in a second, but I haven't decided fully on the tier list yet. I think Sainz is going. I think Hulkenberg is definitely going. So if we assume this is Piastri, like if I'm copying top team here, they're saying I should sell Bottas and get Albon plus Show. And ignore Tsunoda. They're saying this is stronger than Tsunoda Bottas. Which I get. But Show is also starting 18th with Perez and Colapinto behind him in the pits. Don't we think that Show is just going to get overtaken there? If the Sauber is as bad as the simulations say? I think I trust my gut over the simulations. I think I'm going to go for Yuki. And in that case, I keep Bottas. So my question is still the same as yesterday. Is it Bottas plus Piastri, or is it like Sainz plus Show, right? Can I go for Sainz here? And Sainz and Show? I can, yes. Autopilot and Final Fix, triple McLaren with Williams, or maybe someone for sprint. With that low of a budget, I think you... I think you do... Did you, Jake Viking, were you here for my Final Fix chat that I did? Like, move back in the stream like 15 minutes, and you'll see my spiel on what you should do with Final Fix. I think you do the Final Fix strat that I suggested, where instead of triple McLaren, you go Norris plus Checo, and then you Final Fix Checo out. So yeah, I think you go like triple McLaren with Williams, but you start with... obviously, I don't know how many transfers you are, but check my Final Fix chat that I did. It was like 15 minutes ago in the stream. 3x over Final Fix strat. Don't make me point at the sign. Yes, use the 3x. Always use the 3x over any Final Fix shenanigans. Final Fix is just, the 3x is just so optimal in the sprint race that not using it here is incorrect. Oscar or Russell, that is the main question, right? Or if it's Sainz. So I think actually what Amr is saying here is really important, because like if you choose Russell, you can add Tsunoda with Show, right? So if you do Russell, or in my case Sainz, right, I can upgrade Bottas to Show, which looks fantastic, right? And I think for me that don't have the 3x, it's actually closer. If you're sitting there with the 3x, I think you should prioritize triple McLaren because McLaren look fast, right? Because in that instance, the 2x on Piastri is worth more than the like upgrade from Bottas to show. Whereas if I'm going naked Piastri, if you understand what I mean, right? Like Piastri without the 2x on it, maybe the difference between Piastri and Sainz is less than 10 points. And in that case, show could definitely outscore Bottas by 10 points. And in that case, going Sainz plus show might be better than going with Piastri plus Bottas. So I actually have a more difficult decision to make. Whereas if you're on the 3x, I think you just go for triple McLaren. Naked Piastri. You know what I mean? I don't know how else to say it, right? Without like chipless. Okay, chipless Piastri. Okay, that's a better word. Chipless. So if you have chipless Piastri, it's like my chipless Piastri plus Bottas, Sainz plus show might be better, right? Whereas for you, if you have the 3x and if you have chip Piastri, I think you go for McLaren. Better to differentiate this point or go with leads like Norris. It completely depends, Jennifer. Like it completely depends if you are chasing or defending, right? If you are in a mini league with your family or co-workers or friends or whatever, and you're trying to chase that P1 spot, trying to win it, then you might have to play a bit differential. If you're already at the top, just play the best strat. I think the best strat for the 3x is triple McLaren. Yeah, we're gonna do the tier lists in like 1 minute. We're gonna do tier lists in like 1 minute. Everybody's running McLaren. If you want to catch up, I gotta run. Yeah, exactly. So if you wanna catch up to someone, you might have to run something else. And I think the main way, it depends. Like if you're 200 points behind, you might have to just scrap Norris and hope he DNFs, right? But if you're just 50 points behind and you just want to be slightly differential, I think you still keep Norris as the 3x, and then you go for like a Russell or a Checo on the 2x, and then final fixing Checo out. Things like that, right? So you can be differential without completely uprooting your team. And I think if you're just slightly behind, you still keep Norris, because I think Norris is that much, like that clearly the best option. And I mean, look at the best teams on F1 Fantasy Tools. Every team is Norris 2x. Limitless team, Piastri versus Russell versus Verstappen. I mean, Limitless, you just go for I don't actually. I think you go McLaren, Ferrari. You go for Norris, double Ferrari. I think you go for Piastri for sure. Russell, yeah. I think you skip Verstappen. Choices are Lawson versus Gasly, and all right. Before I discuss like Lawson and Gasly stuff, let's actually do the that is not the right one. Let's do the tier lists for Qatar. This is yeah, Qatar, defo Qatar. There we go. Where is my tier lists? It's somewhere here. Here we go. Uploads, and let's find the Qatar flag. There we go, and let's change the... There we go. All right, so again, I still haven't switched the icons. Deal with it. Let's do some. This is not the correct. Like this is what it was in Vegas. Let's change it up. All right, so I think number one, Colapinto. Starting from the pit lane, Williams look fast-ish. I think he can cook. I think Colapinto is the best C-tier option. I think everyone should have him. Then it gets tricky. I'm going to trust my gut and say that Yuki's really good because he's starting further back. So he got moved up now because Checo is starting from the pit. So what is it, 17th? 16th? Something like that. I think Yuki is a pretty good option here. I think Yuki is the best of those mid-priced assets. We have Show and Albon. I think Show is slightly better than Albon, but not by much. And I think both are actually kind of decent here. I think Gasly it has to be A tier, right? Just because of how he's performed in qualifying recently. I think Ocon at his price, like if you can afford, if you can afford him, I guess he's not bad. But in like at Ocon's price, just go for like Gasly and upgrade your Bottas to like a Tsunoda, right? There's no reason to have Ocon. Like there's literally no reason to have Ocon. If you can afford Ocon, you're doing something wrong because you can definitely upgrade something else. For the Haas, I mean, you have to put Hulkenberg up here. He's just Mr. Consistent. K-Mag, also good, right? I think Lawson is slightly worse. He's starting P10 in the sprints. That's not that great. Lance Stroll is useless. Way too expensive. Doesn't do anything. And I think Bottas is like... If you can upgrade Bottas, you do upgrade Bottas. But, I mean, he's also just cheap, so you just kind of have to have him at some point. So I do think he's, like, technically ahead of these two boys. Because, like, you could be forced to use Bottas. And at least, if you have Bottas, you can afford to upgrade something else. Maybe. Like, if you have Bottas, you can maybe upgrade Show to, like, a Yuki. And I think that's worth it. I think this is the tier list. No. It's never worth it to use it. It's literally never worth a -10 to let me put this somewhere. I don't know where to put this. It's good. It's never worth using a -10 to upgrade a C tier asset. Never. Or almost never. It's worth using a -10 if like you have to downgrade something to upgrade a B tier that you think is going to be, or like a premium asset that's going to be really good. But those -10s are too big, and these C tier assets are not going to reach that many points. Bottas versus Albon, Albon for sure. I think Bottas is by far the I think Bottas looks real bad here, because surely he just falls back in the sprints. If you use autopilot, am I unable to use Final Fix? Yes, you can only use one chip per race. I think you don't use autopilot. I think you Final Fix and do my Final Fix strat, which I did like 25 minutes ago. So go back 25 minutes in the stream and you can see my Final Fix strat. Albon or Gasly? I mean, look at the thing. I think Albon is actually... Yeah, like, if you can upgrade to Gasly, you kind of have to go for Gasly, no? I think Gasly's better than Albon. If you can upgrade Albon to Gasly, I think that's worth it. I think this is the tier list. I think this is pretty solid. I don't think I've missed anything here. Any other Samarth's input was definitely correct here. I think Gasly's definitely better than Albon. All right. What do we have now? Should we do premium tier lists? I don't really think we need to do premium tier lists. It's just mainly just like, oh, do you want Russell or Piastri, right? That Russell, Piastri, or a Ferrari. I think that's like the main question that everyone's just asking. Hulkenberg and Russell, or Gasly and Piastri. This is what's so difficult. Joshua, if you're using your 3x, I think Piastri for sure, because then you put the 2x on Piastri. Other than that, I don't know, man. It's so even. So based on this, you prefer Albon plus Show over Tsunoda plus Bottas? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Tsunoda's still S tier. Like, an S tier can outvalue an A tier. So, not necessarily. Albon DNF concerns when looking at Albon versus Bottas? Not really. I have no DNF concern for Albon whatsoever. I never calculate DNF unless it's like the driver's bad, like Latifi and Sargent. I don't think Albon's bad. I think Albon's been unlucky with his DNFs. Using your Final Fix strat, should I 2x Perez? Sure, as long as you switch it to Lando after. You could do either or. Just make sure you have money in the bank to go get Albon back on the 2x, and you do that for qualifying, not after qualifying. So you switch the final fix. You do the final fix after the sprint race. All right. Let's do the team submissions in 3 minutes. So I'll do the team submissions when we get to 30 likes. We're on 19. There's 90 people in here. At 30 likes, I'll do the team submissions. Until then, I'll yap about random stuff. So like the stream if you haven't, if you want me to go into the team submissions channel. If you haven't and you want my input on your team, go to the Discord, link in the description below, and in the team submissions channel, you can link your team. Or just post a little graphic of your team. Albon should be fine, 4 in a row can't be possible. You do say that, but like it's equally likely that he DNFs now as it was like last race, right? Because like, you know, that's a fallacy, right, of the human mind that we can't perceive. Like if you flip a coin and it's been heads 4 times in a row, the odds of the next one being heads is still 50-50. So you can't look at previous things when calculating risk like that. Should you use the 3x? Don't make me click on the... Look at the sign. Look at the sign. It says use the 3x. You can't see it, but it says use the 3x. Use the 3x. This is your last chance to use it in the sprint. Wait, where's the... I need the Simpson beam. Don't make me tap the sign. Can I, like, put an image into... No, I can't. Okay. No, I can't do that. Alright. I really want to just... we'll do it in camo, alright? We'll do it in camo. Let me go back to this. So this is some old stuff. I can just delete all of this. Austrian GP. Do not care. Let's pull this out and just make this larger. There we go. And let's remove this. And we're making memes live. We're making memes live now. This is what it's come to. There you go. And then actually, let me just download this, and I'll make it into an element on the stream. All right, hold up. And let me input image. Tap the sign. There we go, and then why did it not download? Where did it go? There we go. Oh, what? It's like a PDF. It's not stupid. All right, let's just do this. I'll use every method to get this up on stream. All right, here we go. Save this. Boom, boom. Open. All right, here we go. Perfect. And I'll just put that up whenever someone asks me about the 3x. Okay. All right, then we hit 30 likes. 24. All right, I need 25. 5 more likes and I'll do the team submissions. 5 more likes for the team submissions. Come on. Until then, I still haven't decided. I think I'm just gonna go on vibes. And my vibes say that it's Piastri time. The question then is it Yuki and Bottas or Albon and Show? I do not know. I think I'm vibing with the triple McLaren. I don't think I'm on. I don't think I'm on the Russell train. 33 likes. All right, good job, guys. We did it. Let's go to team submissions. Boom. So, let's see what people have posted. 5 a.m. People posted very, very late. Salima, you're here. You didn't miss anything. Let's see. Where do we start this? There's a lot of submissions, guys. I'll see how many I can get to. But we'll start with Salima because I know you're here. So if you posted earlier, then oh no, this is the previous one. Lol. 23rd. What am I doing? Yesterday. All right, so Lan is the first one. I'm gonna disable this so I can see you guys' names. So if you posted before I went live, I need you to make sure that you're actually here in the stream. Why aren't you using Paint to make? I tried, but it didn't allow me to post the image. I tried, Don. What will be your team? I'll show my team right after we've done team submissions. How can I miss my fave YouTuber? Thanks. That means a lot. Just posted up and I'm fine. All right. So I'll start with Lan here, and then I'll move down. I'll do captain. I'll do captain. So budget 127.4. I guess this is the maximum of what I can get. You have Russell, Lando, McLaren, Ferrari, Bottas, Colapinto, Gasly. I mean that looks like the absolute maximum. And then here you just have Sainz instead. And here you have Show over Gasly. I prefer Gasly probably over Show, actually. I know I didn't do that in my thing, but I think I like Gasly over Show. So I think I would just go for this one if you want Russell. But it's really close. Russell, Gasly versus Sainz, Show could be anything. I don't think you go for this one. I think if you do this, I think you go for Sainz. So I think you go for either this or this. It's just if you value how much you value Gasly, because I think Russell could definitely outscore Sainz this weekend. So I prefer this one actually. Captain budget 127.3. So this is what you have now. That's a lot of assets. Oh, basically 2 of these, right? Oh, so you're 3xing. So I'm assuming you cannot afford the 3x on since you're on 127 million, you can't afford Lando plus Piastri. I think then I do prefer Russell over Sainz slightly. And then out of these 3, I'm assuming you can only have one of Albon or Show. And I do prefer Show over Albon. So it would be Franco, Bottas, Show. If you can go without Bottas, it would be Albon, Show, obviously. I think Bottas is the worst out of these 4. But if you can't afford it, I think you go for... I think you skip out on Albon. That's what I would do. Falats, you here? I will go up to you again if you are. Just let me know in the chat. So, said first time posting here, shambles of a team this week. I cannot cover McLaren's in a satisfying way, so I'm thinking of going all in against them. I'm up for taking irrational gambles this late in the season. So, Leclerc to Perez and Bottas to Colapinto is my thinking. Sure. Perez 2x, hoping that he'll gain plenty of position in the sprint. I think he will. That would leave me enough money in the bank to final fix Perez at anyone. Fantastic. I think this is a fantastic. Yes. I approve. I'm just going to do this. I like this one. Yeah, you're here. I think that's a fantastic plan. I already talked earlier about 40 minutes ago about how I really like having Perez in the sprint and then final fix him in out. So, bar Norris, I think you sell Leclerc to Perez, right? And then you go to probably Piastri on the 2X, maybe. It could be anyone, though. So I really like having Perez in the sprint and then final fixing it out. I think that's fantastic. And then Bottas to Colapinto is also really good. You keep Gasly, you keep Hulkenberg. You basically you're praying that Norris DNFs. That's what you're doing. All right, here we go. Here's Salima. I still have a wild card and I have 3 transfers, so I don't think I need a wild card. No, I would just use the wild card next week and just go differential if you want to, right? Current team is 2x on Lando, Lando Sainz, Colapinto. Yeah, basically same team that I have right now. And then you have the option of Tsunoda, Piastri, just Tsunoda, just Russell, Tsunoda, and Show, and then Leclerc, Gasly. So I'm likely doing this, right? This is what I'm going to do, but I think this one is equally valid. I think Gasly's interesting. The F1 fantasy tools really like Gasly, but I prefer Tsunoda over Gasly, so that's why I'm rooting for the Tsunoda teams. But yeah, I mean, you're literally in the exact same spot as me, and I don't know which is the best one. Like, I'm leaning towards Piastri just to be safe and go with the instinct on the 3X McLaren and just basically ignore Bottas and let Bottas be Bottas. So I think I'm doing this one, but you could do anyone. You could realistically do any team, any of like these 3. I don't think you just do Russell out for Sainz, right? I do think you go for either. I will say though, the value of Russell, like the actual value of going for Russell, and surely here you can also upgrade Bottas to Show, right? I think you can, even when keeping Hulkenberg. You should be at 2.3 million in the bank. You should be able to afford it. So I think the value of Russell is actually being able to upgrade Bottas to Show, on top of like him also being a good asset. I think if you aren't going to upgrade Show, you can also there's no reason to just do Russell and Tsunoda and leave 2.9 million in the bank. You never do this one. You always do this one, because one of the highest upsides to Russell is that you can upgrade Bottas to Show. So you should always do that. Do I swap out 2x Perez for 2x Lando, or keep 2x Lando and swap Perez for Piastri? I think the safe option is just keeping Lando the entire time. The risky but higher ceiling, like higher upside option, is to have Perez and then switch it to Lando with the final fix. So it's all up to you how risky you want to be. I think the safest option is just to have it on the non-2x. But the higher ceiling is definitely having the 2x on Perez and then switching that to Lando. Leclerc, Bottas for Piastri Show. Any recommendations? No, looks really good. Marmelada. Yeah, Piastri Show, fantastic. You get rid of Bottas. You get Piastri and Show in there, and Hulkenberg and Tsunoda. You're giga rich. I'm super jealous. If I could have a team, it would be this. This team looks amazing. Honestly, like, this looks like the best team you can build without Limitless. Obviously, if you had Gasly here, that would be even better, but considering the budget you have, this is amazing. So I wish I could build this team, but I have to. If I get Piastri, I have to stick with Bottas and Colapinto. I think Colapinto's better than Show, actually, now that I think about it. Remember, Lotta, if you're here and you're listening to this, I think you're getting baited by the budget, and you're like, oh, I have to fill out my budget. I think Colapinto's better than Show. So you remember Lotta? Yeah. I actually think Colapinto's better than Show. I think you're getting baited by filling out all your budget. I think you keep Hulkenberg, Tsunoda. I think they're fantastic. Piastri, definitely go for it, and then you go for Colapinto here. Let's see. Sainz or Russell? I prefer Russell because of the budget, and you often I think a lot of people on their budgets going for Russell over Sainz allows you to upgrade something else. But if that's not an issue, if money's not an issue, I think it's so close. I really think it's impossible to call. Again, so how I normally do it if you haven't been here before is I try to go through everything, but like there are quite a few left, and a lot of questions are very similar, right? So for example, I can go Russell plus Gasly or Piastri plus anyone, right? I think you go Piastri plus anyone. But a lot of questions are going to end up being, is it Piastri or is it Russell or is it Sainz, right? And the answer is I don't really know. It's mostly vibes based at that point. I think that's why, like, Mermelada is really interesting because, like, there's no Colapinto in here. I do think Colapinto is the best C-tier asset this week. A lot of teams are similar on sprint week, yeah. So for that reason, I will skip over a few, but just use the tips I've said for the previous ones and try and apply it for yours. Noek McGurg. I'm trying. Oh, what is this budget? Holy. Norris, Sainz, Russell, McLaren, Mercedes. Yeesh. That is juicy. I mean, at this point, you're just winning. Don't even have to give you any tips. Giga Rich. My case is different. Where is yours, Dwalla? Oh, here. I mean, yours is slightly different because, like, you're richer than we are, right? But I think the main, I'm going to go for Piastri, right? So if you want to trust me, I'm going to go for Piastri, and I think you so Russell plus Gasly then for Bottas, I assume. So I'm assuming, like, you can go Russell plus Gasly. Is that upgrading Bottas to Gasly? In that case, I'm switching bot. Okay, so and then Piastri plus anyone. I'm assuming that's just Piastri plus Bottas. Have a great rest of your stream. Thank you. Oh, by the way, if you haven't done it, like, please, Fanamp is here in the chat. In the description below, I think I put it in the description if I remembered. If I didn't, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Top of the description, do the survey. Do the Fanamp survey, the F1 Fantasy survey. Maybe after the deadline so you don't miss the deadline, you know? But definitely do the survey. It's your one chance to impact the game that we all, you know, love and play. But yeah, Dwala, I do think yours is slightly different, but it boils down to the same thing. It's like, okay, do you go, because for me it's like, okay, do I go for Sainz plus Show or Piastri plus Bottas? And yours is similar, only that you can upgrade that Show pick to a Gasly pick because you're slightly richer than me. So it is very similar to my team. It's just that in your case, it's slightly more favored Russell Gasly. It's close. It's really, really close. I honestly cannot call it. I'm gonna go for Piastri plus Bottas, I think. I think this is gonna be my team. Where did chat go? I lost it. That's not the one. Here you go. 2x Piastri or Leclerc? I think Piastri. I definitely prefer Piastri over Leclerc this week. Please review. You posted early. I did review your team. I'm pretty. Oh wait. Did I skip yours? I think I skipped yours and said, "Holler if you're here." Yeah. Scored 325 points with this original team, but now I got stuck with Merc. Please help. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is an interesting one. This is a really interesting one because I remember. Yeah, you had a really good weekend with this team, but now you're stuck with the Mercedes. That is funny. I will say that is slightly funny. How many transfers do you have? Do you have 2? Yeah, I skipped yours. Do you have 2 or 3 transfers, Philasa? You have 2? I mean, you're definitely just chilling here with Mercedes. Ooh. The question is, for you, is it worth to do a -10 to get McLaren in? As a constructor, I mean. Right? Like, if you're expecting McLaren to go really strong here, do you, like, downgrade Russell to, like, whichever C tier you want, say Hulkenberg, you upgrade Hamilton to Norris to 3x, and then you do Mercedes to McLaren. I think you maybe go back to a 2 premium here for a -10. I think that could be worth it. Actually, though, you keep Russell probably, and you downgrade Sainz. So you 3x. So you sell Hamilton and Sainz and Mercedes or Ferrari, like if you trust Russell. So I guess if you're keeping Russell, you keep Mercedes. If you keep Sainz, you keep Ferrari. You sell Hamilton for Norris. You sell either Russell or Sainz for like Hulkenberg, right? And then you upgrade either Mercedes or Ferrari to McLaren for a -10. I think that's actually worth it because I do think McLaren is going to outscore both Mercedes and Ferrari by 10 points. So you gotta look at it for the from the constructor perspective. I think Norris is so powerful this week that I don't think you should consider yourself stuck. I think you take a -10. I think this is like the one instance where taking a -10 is actually worth it, and I think you'll gain points on it because I do think McLaren will outscore both Mercedes and Ferrari by 10 points. So I guess you have the opportunity of choosing. Do you trust Ferrari, Mercedes? I probably trust Ferrari more. Just based on Hamilton's pace, right? So I would do all 3 Mercedes as it's gone. You keep Sainz and 2x him. And you do Norris, say Magnussen or Hulkenberg, and then McLaren. I think that's your team, Falazza. I think that's your team. That's what I would do at least. I would enjoy taking that -10. But then again, if you trust Russell and Mercedes more, you could definitely transfer Sainz and Ferrari out instead. But I do think you put all your eggs in one basket and either go for Ferrari, you either go for Sainz and Ferrari, or McLaren and Mercedes, or Russell and Mercedes. All right. Triple A to McLaren heavy as well. Yeah, I mean that it is a really good. I do think McLaren are that strong this week. All right, so I don't think I have time. I will do a few more team submissions. I'm really sorry I can't get to everyone. Is Russell an option? Russell's definitely an option. 100% an option. We've been discussing that. Here, you're Johan. Well, we'll see. There you go. Team 1, Team 2. Ooh, it's really difficult with that pictures. Current budget. McLaren, Ferrari, Norris, Russell, Colapinto show Albon, Norris, Piastri, Colapinto show Bottas. I mean, you're basically on the same stretch as a lot of people, right? So it's what I've discussed already. It's like it's Piastri and Bottas versus Russell and Albon. I think in your case it's definitely Piastri plus Bottas because I don't think Albon is that big of an upgrade for you. I think if this was like a Tsunoda or a Gasly, like we've already discussed, I think it's more in the favor of Team 2. I think you just go for Team 1 and Cook. Omar, you were right above. Here we go. We have some Checo Perez in here. -20. No. -20 is too much. Is this the team you have or what you're going towards? I can't tell. Alright. Yeah, I think there's 5 left. I have to do my team. I will get back. There's a lot of things here. I know Celtic. I know you're here. Killen. There's a lot of teams here. I will go through them if I have time. But I do have to do tip of the week and my own team. So, hey, what's up, man? What's up? Go follow FPL Veteran on Twitter if you play FPL. Good times. All right, let's do tip of the week because we have to do tip of the week. I'll tweet out that we're doing tip of the week. Hashtag tip of the week is click here to find out, and a cheeky little smiley. Hashtag F1 fantasy, and yeah, I'm so sorry I can't get to all the things, guys. Too many team submissions, and it's only gonna get worse. By the way, these streams are popping off. There we go. All right. What is the tip of the week? Do we have tip of the week predictions? Tip of the week predictions. Amnesty for you should definitely do Final Fix. Go back to almost exactly like 15 minutes ago in the stream. So 10-2, like 10 minutes to top of the hour. That's where I did a really cool Final Fix strat. I think you should look at that and then come back and see what you thought about it. Do we have any tip of the week predictions? Rain Fantasy. Number one tip of, that is not the right order, tip of the week is, well, I can't say that, Celtic. I can't say that because I already have the sign, you know. Well, I already have this, so I can't also make that tip of the week. I can't also make that tip of the week. So tip of the week this week. I mean, I actually think it's okay. So I'm actually gonna say it because I know a lot of people have this remaining. I'm actually gonna say it's slightly specific, right? And then you'll see why it's specific. Because it's gonna be super generic, right? Don't use. What should you not use, guys? What do you think you shouldn't use? Don't use the autopilot. Don't use the autopilot. Why? That is not a comma. Trust the Norris 2x. There you go. Trust the Norris 2x. Don't use the autopilot. There's no reason. Use autopilot next week. Use any other chips you have now, such as the 3x. I mean, like, this is the real tip of the week. Like, this is a fake. The one in the back, the MS Paint one is fake. This is the one. Like, don't make me tap the sign. Use the 3x. You have to. It's a sprint weekend. It's the last sprint weekend. You're not gonna get any points next week. It's you're throwing. Use the 3x. That is tip of the week. Don't use the autopilot. I think the autopilot is a wasted chip. I think you just put the Trust Norris 2x. So, yep. Boom, boom, boom. Obviously, if you already have used the 3x, you can't use the 3x. But if you have the 3x, use the 3x. Second driver for 3x, I prefer Piastri. But we've talked about, like, that's been the main question on all the team submissions. So I'm going to finalize my team now. This is going to be my team. I'm doing Sainz to Piastri and Hulkenberg to Tsunoda. I'm doing Hulkenberg to Tsunoda to fund the move up to Piastri, right? And because I think Tsunoda is one of the best C-tier options this week, starting quite far back in the sprint race. And I still think there's some pace in the car. He did well last week. I think he can do well in the main race as well. I don't think he's stuck to a P12. So I'm going to go for Yuki Tsunoda. And here. And then I'm going to trust Piastri and McLaren. You get it, Amnesty. You get it. Yeah. You buy if you want a final fix, you buy Perez now, and then after the sprint, you final fix him out for Piastri or Russell or whoever. RB 9th in the race pace sims. I don't think that it's gonna be that close. I think it's much more gonna come down to strategy than the pace of the C tiers, the race pace simulations of the C tiers. So I don't think that's an issue at all. I'm gonna be honest. Would you go for Hulk or Tsunoda? Can afford both. I do slightly prefer Hulkenberg. Just like Hulkenberg is just Hulkenberg is also an S tier. He's just Mr. Consistent. He's just gonna get P8 again and just finish it there. The simulations prefer Gasly over Tsunoda. I just don't know if I trust it because every time I've owned Gasly this season, it's been a disaster. Like, actual disaster. So I really don't trust Gasly anymore. Would you go for Gasly? Or, if you go for Gasly or Albon, it's Gasly. Albon over Show? No. Show is better. But this is going to be my move. I'm just going to trust the Piastri 3X. Boom. We need to make some moves for my other team as well. Can't really do a lot. I think we just stick with it, if I'm honest. I think we do Albon to Show and just call it a day. Boom. Confirm. There we go. Alright, this is my team. This is my team. Mercedes. Oh, no. Ferrari. I think Ferrari's better than Mercedes this week. I don't think Hamilton's gonna do much. All right, remaining teams. Let's look at a couple more teams, and then take some quick questions. So I did Amir's. We'll do. I've done most of these. Yep. Celtic, I know you're here. You asked. Made my decision early this time. Used DRS boost. My 3 transfers. Subscience science. Subscience out. Russell in. Bottas out. Show in. Nico out. Yuki in. Best of luck all. Hope you like it. Leclerc 3x. For mine, and keeping Bottas. You know, heart is red. I am wearing this, so. I think this is fine, but I mean, you really need. I mean, if Norris DNFs, you're having a field day. So. Field day. Amnesty, autopilot. Yeah. That's so. I saw your thing here, but I made you go back and look at the final fix tip. So I think you do either on the Sainz or Piastri slots. You do Perez out, but you could also do it on the Norris slot, and that is spicy. You sell Norris for Checo, and then after the sprint race, you put Norris back in. But you can do whichever way you want. I think the safest way is to do Sainz out for Perez and then do Perez out for whichever one you want. But you don't wait for the qualifying. You definitely do. Domino Killer and Jaban. Thank you for keeping track. So, I have 3x Norris Piastri is a good team. Yup. F1 fans don't really like Gasly this week, and I don't really know why. I guess they're expecting him to get best of the rest again in qualifying, which is another 3 points. Considering that Sainz and Gasly could go for any of the other options, most likely in triple McLaren. I'm just outside the top 1k. That's really cool. Please help. Can't comment on the stream, but I am here. Okay. Sorry about that, Killen. I hope you're still here. Sorry for skipping you. But I'll do it now. I do think if you're top 1k, I think you just cook with the triple McLaren. I do think triple McLaren plus Show is the best option and the most likely way you're getting in there, especially when people are experimenting with Russells and Sciences and stuff. And then we have Dominos. 3x use, original team is the first one. 3 transfers in the wildcard to use next week. So don't need to worry about trading anyone for next week. I mean, yeah, this is just the go-to 3x option. It's similar to what we've talked about before. I do think with the 3x, I do think you go for triple McLaren. And then we have Chris, Checo, Gasly, Albon, or Show Gasly. If the budget is high enough, I'll FF Perez for Piastri, but if not, I'll go for Russell. Oh, all right. So if you have Gasly, can you then afford to final fix? Oh, yeah. Okay, so you need to go down if you have show, you can upgrade Perez to Piastri, is what I'm gathering then. Right. 2.3 million. That should be enough, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Then it's closer, right? I think Russell is really good. I do think Russell is going to be good in qualifying again. So I think either or works fine. But I think the bet on Gasly is fine, honestly. Jamon left. Yeah, I saw it. So I think literally either team is fine. But I do prefer Show over Albon. So if you're doing either of these two, I would go for Show. It's also Russell instead of Piastri. I've talked about that earlier, but it's completely fine, especially when you have the Mercedes constructor. I think you definitely go for Russell, because then you're betting on Ferrari stinking it out and Russell doing well. All right, 8 minutes until the deadline. That's all the team submissions. No more. That was a lot. How many people do we still have? Still 50 odd people in here. Thank you so much for sticking out. I will not be watching the sprint here because, like, the things that happen in the sprint is not going to matter for F1 Fantasy. Like, if it's a qualifying session, there's a lot of things to talk about usually afterwards. So I will be live for another 7 minutes. So if you have any final questions, leave them now or forever hold your peace. Forever hold your silence. Any final questions? 7 minutes to go. This is my team. I've already done my transfers. I might as well tweet this out. I trust the 3x. I should have put 3x because I'm not using 3. The triple McLaren today. Though I've been burned by that before. Cough Brazil. Cough. Hulk plus Science 2. Tsunoda plus Piastri. F1 Fantasy. And let's post it on Blue Sky. There we go. All right, that's it. Let me put this up in case anyone asks. What about triple Ferrari? Too crazy? That sounds a bit ludicrous, I'm not gonna lie, but why not? Will Perez be able to outscore Norris in the sprint race? Yes. Like, if Norris just goes and wins the sprint, that's 8 points. Perez only needs to overtake 4 people to do that. Final fix now, or is it after the quali? You use the final fix after a session. So you use it either after the sprint or after the quali. You can choose. So if you're doing my Checo tip, my final fix Checo tip, you do Checo now and then you final fix after the sprint. Because you don't want Checo in the qualifying, because Checo's dog in the qualifying. He's definitely going to be out in Q1 or Q2 again. There's no way he makes Q3. He's actually so bad in qualifying, it's not even funny. But yeah, Checo's really good in the sprint. Specifically, I think he's going to have a similar sprint to as he did in Brazil. So, yeah. Autopilot or wildcard. I mean, if there's no transfers you need to make, there's no reason to use the wildcard. So in that case, I actually kind of would autopilot. But yeah, I don't generally like the autopilot today, especially not if you're running Norris, right? My tip of the week is literally My tip of the week is literally like don't run the autopilot, because I think Norris is just going to be the highest scoring driver. So don't use the autopilot. Trust Norris. But obviously, if you don't have Norris, then autopilot is super fine. All right. Yep. See you, Michael. Thank you so much for stopping by once more. I always appreciate that. Oh, that's from yesterday. Lol. That's really funny. All right. 2 race weeks left. I've used one of them. Probably run autopilot for Abu Dhabi. I mean, you can use autopilot now. I mean, it's tough, right? Because you don't really want to use autopilot now. But I think using autopilot now is fine if you want to be differential and build a full-on team, a full new team in Abu Dhabi. But like, you could go the entire season without using the wildcard. You don't have to use the wildcard. I'd rather use the autopilot next week because I think it's more optimal. All right, if you haven't liked the stream, please do so. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. 2 minutes to go. Any final questions? Let's get another 6 likes. Get it to 50 likes. 40 people here. Surely there's a few of you who haven't liked the stream already. Yep, do this. $55 likes. 5 more. We can do it. I think I'm signing off though. Enjoy watching the sprints. That I will do just that, but I will do it when falling asleep in the couch, because I'm exhausted after working so early. So I'll see you guys next week. I have some content planned. Do the survey, by the way. Do the survey. So link top of the description, the survey from FanAmp, the like semi-official end of season F1 fantasy survey. So fill out things there. It is your one chance to impact this game and actually make your voice heard. So make sure you do that. You have until the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but why wait? Just do it now while you wait for the sprint to start. It takes about 7 minutes or a bit longer if you want to write longer answers, but it's real quick, so definitely do that. Thank you so much for watching today. Thank you so much for liking the stream, hanging out. Didn't reach 50 likes. Unfortunate. We'll do that next time. Thank you so much, Joshua. I love that you enjoy the streams as well as much as I do. I love being here. I'm definitely gonna be here all of next season. I've stuck it through. I've made a video for every race weekend this season. So it's been a crazy year. We'll see where we end up after this, after all the chips, and if I'm still top 10k, and if I can finish the season still remaining in the top 10k in Abu Dhabi. So look forward to the video on Monday or Tuesday, and then another stream next Saturday, the final deadline stream of the 2024 season. I can't believe we're already there. I can't believe it's already December. I'll see you then. I'm ending stream now. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.